Hello and welcome to another episode of the Good Boxing Podcast with your host Josh Saez. And I'm going to be very, very controversial with this one. I'm going to be honest with you. This weekend we have Vasily Lomachenko fighting Richard Commey. Richard Commey came off a very crushing knockout of Jackson Mariñez. And when I tell you crushing knockout, he really hurt Jackson Mariñez. In the beginning, Mariñez seemed to keep the momentum he had after beating Rolando Romero, even though he didn't get the decision. I have to say that Vasily Lomachenko hasn't looked sharper since disposing of Masayoshi Nakatani. Now, the reason why I'm being controversial is I rewatched the Nakatani versus Lomachenko fight, and Lomachenko had a fantastic performance, got a knockout. He looked spectacular. He looked like he was back to being Loma. And now, after disposing of Nakatani, clearly he was on a track to try to get back his undisputed belts from Teofimo Lopez by following in his footsteps, disposing of Nakatani better than Teo. Now he's looking to dispose of Richard Commey better than Teo, even though Teo lost to George Gambosos. So now he's essentially trying to make his case for why George Gambosos should fight him after Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis have taken care of business, both got their W's, and now are the front runners for the George Gambosos fight. Now, looking back, he had a spectacular performance against Nakatani, but I still saw a lot of the things that Teofimo did to Nakatani. To Lomachenko. Nakatani was able to pull against Lomachenko. Lomachenko still doesn't like that right uppercut to the body. Still, you can neutralize the angle by turning. I do like how Lomachenko made the adjustment to now catch the uppercut with the left hand and switch to righty when he's trying to get around that angle and doesn't. Teo kept catching him with that uppercut. He just didn't have an opponent that could execute it. Nakatani's not the slickest guy. He's a tough, rugged warrior. You saw it in a lot of his fights. He is a tough guy, hard to get out, and Loma knocking him out was a spectacular statement. However, Loma caught him. Clearly, he couldn't deal with the angles. However, in this fight, you have somebody that is looking to resurrect their career, looking to show up to win, essentially someone who rebuilt themselves. And I got to say, Commey has arguably the hardest right hand in the division. I don't think there's anybody who has a harder right hand than Richard Commey. Teo, dropped him with the right hand, but he just got off the line, used his momentum to help drop him. So Richard Commey has tremendous power and is a much bigger 135 pounder. Richard Commey is tall. He has a good jab, good right hand, and a good left hook. I think he will talk to Teofimo Lopez to see what he can do to neutralize Loma and what he should do. I think he has the length, and I'm going to sit here and say it. Richard Commey is going to win this fight. Richard Commey is going to derail Lomachenko's comeback. I feel like there are a lot of distractions. There's a lot of pressure, and I think Commey is the worst fight for Lomachenko. He's fighting someone that physically is huge. I think no one out there physically is as, and 135 pounds, I'm going to say this, he's physically bigger than Tank. He is physically bigger than Devin Haney. He is stronger than Devin Haney. Devin Haney has superior boxing ability, 100%. And Gervonta Tank Davis is a lefty. You can arguably say that he has a punch that can rival Richard Commey. But in terms of one punch power, I'll take the right hand of Richard Commey versus anyone. You know what? Tank is probably tied. His left hand, when healthy, is pretty strong. But Richard Commey, I think people forgot how much of a beast he was. And when he fought Teo, if you watch that fight, Teo was eating jabs. Teo was very measured, very cautious because he knew what Commey possessed. And If Tio didn't get that head off the line the way he did, he could have been dropped himself. I'm going to lean with Richard Commey. I think Loma, if you take away that right side still, a lot of the things exist that Tio exposed. I think with a good game plan, I'm hoping that the corner has a better game plan because Commey's corner can be a little limited at times. And I don't know. I just feel like Richard Commey is going to shock the world. He may actually even knock Loma out. I can see it happening. Linares dropped him with the right hand. Tio rocked him a lot of times with right hands. Even Nakatani, to a certain point, caught Loma with a lot of right hands. Given the fact that he's tall, Loma's going to have to close the gap. He can get timed. And I think Richard Commey, it's his time. So that's my prediction. Say what you want. I've been watching the film. I've been looking at it. And I think Loma's going to lose. So be prepared for an upset. If not, whatever. But 135 is wide open. I don't think George Gambosos can beat Richard Commey. I don't think George Gambosos can beat Isaac Cruz. I don't think George Gambosos can beat Devin Haney. I don't think George Gambosos in a rematch would beat Teofimo Lopez. I don't think George Gambosos can beat Gervonta Tank Davis. So, George, all these boys are coming after you. Enjoy your time because you're not going to be king for much longer. This is what I like to see when fighters fight and they go after it and challenge themselves. Now we have a deep division. This is what I was talking about. 135, 1-7 can arguably beat the number one guy in the division right now. And that's what you call a deep division. Tio's still around. He'll come back. I'm positive he's only 24 years old. I hate the excuses, but he gets his mind right, gets his corner right, gets his life right. I think the kid can be box office. Truthfully, you know what? Even Ryan Garcia would beat George Gambosos. Just going to go out there and say that. So this division is stacked. It's good to hear everyone talking about trying to fight each other. If it happens, I don't know, but I like seeing it. So that's the episode for today. Be prepared. Richard Commey is going to beat Vasily Lomachenko this weekend and derail all of the plans that Loma had. And honestly, I don't think Loma's going to retire, but maybe he goes back down because at 135, he's a small guy. Sure, he has skills. He's very talented. I'm not going to disrespect Lomachenko, but again, you're fighting huge guys at 135, and you should be at 130. Honestly, you could probably even make 126 if you really want to look at it in terms of stature. I think this weekend, Richard Commey is going to shock the world and beat Vasily Lomachenko. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Be prepared. Richard Commey, let's go.